Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash Super Boss. It's Super Boss season, baby, but today, we're focusing on the 10-star event, and this one's a little bit different because there's only actually two 10-star Kizuna Clashes, which actually I really like. It's a really nice, refreshing change of pace. We don't have to worry about building multiple teams. And in today's video, we are focusing on not using any of the New Year's Legends. We're not using any of the new batch. No Leos, Donsai, no Shirahoshi, no Fukuboshi in these particular teams. Plus, the friend captain can literally be anything that you want it to be. The team will take care of the entire quest after level 30 as well. And then you can just bring any friend captain. Now, that includes if you find Leo and Donsai, like you can bring a Leo and Donsai. That's going to work out. So just be mindful of that when you are looking at these particular teams. But like I said, we're not including any of the New Year's Legends, New Year's Batch, any of that fun stuff. We will include them over on the Super Boss runs because like that's where they shine the most. But over here in 10-star, we're just building this. Now I will be doing some separate videos with like Leo and Donsai as a friend captain, trying to focus on damage, and then we'll probably put out a booster team with Shirahoshi and Fukuboshi, as I did manage to actually pick up both of them, and we'll sort of go from there. With that said, let's dive into the first fight, which is the Dex variation. And I have tried to like limit supports as much as possible because I do know supports can be a little bit of a problem for some people, but like this is what I'm sort of cooking with at the moment. So the Dex variation, the recommended characters are the recommended characters. Obviously fighters, powerhouse, and strikers get all the good stuff. And I've just been building around strikers because like Donsai and Leo are a striker like base. You can use them as a friend captain. Plus there is the weakness for strikers as well. On battle 2, you get an attack down to 90% if you're below a 2.75 chain, 3 turns of defense up, and 1 turn of all the type orbs being an attack reduced multiplier of 90%. Now, they've added this new thing with Kizuna where if you do level 1 to 20, there is like debuffs. Then you have 20 to 30, which is very interesting. And then you go 31 plus. So again, these teams are built for 30 plus, so we're going to focus on that. Kuma has all the blow away shenanigans and is weak to strikers. He gives you 7 turns of attack down, normal attacks only, 3 turns of a chain multiplier max at 1.1. All type orbs will be traded as unfavorable, 10 turns of bind on your left column, 6 turns of attacking with Rainbow, Wano, Bomb, Super Bomb, Recovery, Semler, slots reduced damage dealt by 90%, and then all your orbs get turned into an unfavorable. So obviously like if you're tapping with unfavorable orbs, you're already doing less damage, and if you tap with any of those like other orbs that have a tendency to do more damage, you are going to be able to do more damage there. I believe you actually can tap with tandem orbs though. Tandem is one that they're allowing you to use, which is really interesting. The enemy has full immunity except for defense down, has a slot change on limited amount of time, so if you do change your orbs to anything using a special, you're going to go back to being block slots. And the quest is kind of built up around rainbow orbs. Like they really want you to just use rainbow slots. It's a bit of a weird one in that regard, but like that's kind of the crux of what they want you to do. So on turn 2, with this particular team, we are using Ace and Yamato as our captain. They're going to bypass bind, just like the Donsai Leo does, so that we don't have to worry about them as friend captain. And on turn 2, we're actually going to be popping 3 specials, which is a little bit weird. So we're going to be utilizing first the special of Kid Law. Kid Law, as long as your captain is striker, gives 3 turns of a chain multiplicative buff at 2.25, maxing it 10 times. So this way you can get above the 2.75, plus you bypass that 1.1 on the final stage. It's a really, really good tactic to get around stuff like that, and it's just like a perfect way to do it. Because our captain obviously is striker, it's going to work out really, really nice. Another character we're going to use on turn 2 is Mr. Slam Jam Katakuri. The reason we're going to use Katakuri is because he actually gives us an attack boost, but 2.25 for 2 turns, and then you can actually get a conditional buff, which we don't really want, so just be mindful of that. However, the big reason we do want to actually use this guy is he gives us 3 turns of making all type orbs matching. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to override that debuff that we're going to get inflicted with, where all type orbs are actually treated as negative orbs. So really, really nice way to bypass that. And plus, because he's an attack booster, you cancel the attack boost from Whitebeard and Luffy. Now, Whitebeard and Luffy are going to move the defense up. They do 3 turns of it. They give themselves a tandem orb, and then they boost attack and slot effects by 1.5 times for 3 turns. But because we already have the attack buffs from Katakuri, this is just going to give us 3 turns of an orb buff, and we can carry that into the final stage. Since we don't have an orb buff with any other character, I thought like this was a really nice way to get around that. We are using the Otama support too for some recovery orbs, because on turn 2, all type orbs will be treated as will get a 90% attack down. So you do want to have some other orbs, and I thought Otama was probably the best way to do that. Now, if you guys don't have Katakuri like this, you can actually utilize Shanks and Buggy is a really good option. They also are an attack booster who give you 3 turns of... Where are you, Shanks, Buggy? Was I literally just looking at you and now you're gone? Wait, hang on. Pause. Hang on. That was the problem. Shanks, Buggy are also a striker character. They give you strength, dex, and quick orbs, matching slots for 3 turns, and then they also give you an attack boost too. So they're another character that can work. They're not as good as Katakuri, hence why I'm not using them here, but that's basically the crux of what we're doing. On the final stage, we're just going to super swap with Ace Yamato. That gives us a conditional buff and an attack buff. Then they're going to go into their dual form. They bypass the bind, like I said. And then we have the waifus here to get around the attack down. So they remove 8 turns attack down, and they give you type advantage, so that way you're hitting very hard with their final tap. I believe you get their final tap. Shouldn't have any issues. You just like at the final battle. So with this team, like I said, you have an attack boost, you have an orb buff. You have, or very small orb buff. You have chain shenanigans. You can slap on like chain boosting stuff if you want to as well. There's a bunch of supports you can use. Like I said, I've tried to exclude them. And like I said, you can bring any friend captain you want. If you can find Donsai and Leo, go for gold. Use them for more ticket games. But I do understand that not a lot of people will have them. So if you run something like Nami, like Super Tandem Nami, that's going to be a really good shout as a friend captain. So that way you guys can get a Super Tandem ability, and you have some... more chain shenaniganry. Like you can do some fun stuff there. So you've got options. Hell, you can run like Verse Law if you really want to, just to get more damage output. Like I said, you've got characters that you can use that aren't the Donsai Leo, or even just running another Ace Yamato. As for the second variation, it is a strength variation, and the team we're actually rocking looks a little bit like this. This one was a little bit more convoluted than the rest, but this is the team we put together. We are using a few more supports, but once again, we're using Ace Yamato as our captain. Another really good captain for this is Uta. If you want to run a friend captain Uta, it's going to like save a lot of problems, but again, this team is built in the sense that you can run any friend captain that you like. As for the variation itself, the recommended characters are the recommended characters. Striker, Powerhouse, and Fighters get all the good stuff, and on Battle 2, you get a full body Psyorbs, 1 turn defense up, and attack down with for 3 turns with any of the type orbs at a 90% reduction, and then a rainbow slot barrier. So they want you to use rainbow orbs. Like Donsai and Leo are built up around like turning Psyorbs into rainbow, and that's basically what they want you to do here. As for the final stage, Kuma has all the blowaway shenanigans, weak to Striker, as the last variation did. Again, 7 turns of attack down, there's 4 turns of burn now, normal attacks only. Your right hand column is going to get blinded for 5 turns after sockets, 2 turns of special reverse, 6 turns of defense up, and then full immunity except for enemies' defense down. There's also, for 3 turns, you can only deal 90% of the enemy's HP, so that's a little bit annoying. And then after 1 turn, you take 150,000 damage. Their normal attacks only gets popped up, and you get a full body block slots. But as you guys will see here, there is no normal attacks only on this quest, I believe. So yeah, there's no normal attacks only until you pass 1 turn. So what you actually can do is you can use Kaido on turn 1, being a striker character as well. You can use him on turn 1, and he is going to cut HP by 20% at the start of the quest. That's like as you're moving into that stage. This will basically put the Kuma at 80% HP, and you can kill him in 1 turn. That's the goal of using Kaido and his HP cutting strats moving into the stage. Ace Yamato are going to remove the bind. If you slap on the Mr. 3 support, they also give 2 turns of cooldown, which is ridiculously good. So that way you just get full cooldowns for everyone, and you don't have to worry about that. We are using Shiroshi Mancherry on turn 2 to give us a full board of rainbow slots. We're also using the Perispera support to lock them, seeing as we have a full striker team. We're going to be able to lock all those orbs and just keep the rainbow orbs into the final stage. Nami has the Brook support to get around 1 turn of defense up on turn 2. You can replace this with like Carrot or something like that. That's going to work out pretty fine. And then to remove the 6 turns of defense up and the attack down, we are using Hina on the final stage. Hina actually becomes an orb boosting effect as well, so that's always fun. She gives you damage reduction, but like we don't really care about that too much. She does need a little bit of help with attack down, so that's why I have the page 1 support. And then this Nami just basically is here for color affinity. Like that's literally all she's here for. Again, you could just replace her with something else. If you guys are struggling with like the Mr. 3 support, if you guys don't have the Mr. 3 support, just run, like I said, Uta as a friend captain, the striker, cerebral based Uta. She's going to be immune to special reverse, so that way you don't have to worry about that support. That way you get more of an attack boost and an orb buff as well. You could probably replace like Nami down there with another color for new booster and bring someone else for defense up, something like that. So that's the team that we're rocking there. But that's basically the 10-star in a nutshell, without using Donsai, Leo, all of the new batch, using any friend captain you want and sort of just taking it down. I will obviously do playthroughs with these particular teams, but they're not going to be like the biggest damage teams. They're not going to get you to like crazy high levels. However, they will still get this done if you guys are struggling with some of these other big name characters or something like a boosted friends list. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!